Hello, beautiful people. This video is about how to transform pain into pleasure. And this could be emotional pain, physical pain, anything that you label as pain. So I had a really amazing experience with this recently where I woke up one morning and I was experiencing excruciating lower back pain. Like my back was so sore that I could barely walk. I could barely bend over, and it was so painful. And on this particular day, I had to drive for an hour. And I remember standing in my car and I was thinking like, oh my God, like how am I gonna do this drive? I'm in so much pain. How am I gonna sit for a whole hour? And so I started driving, and as I'm driving, I was feeling so much pain. I was shifting from like one butt cheek to the other butt cheek, like trying to get comfortable. And as I was like trying to get comfortable, I kept telling myself like, oh my God, what if I get to my destination and my back is even worse? And then I can't even drive home. And as I'm telling myself this fearful thought, I'm trying to like shift even more because I'm so worried about getting to the destination and being worse off. I'm trying to get comfortable and I'm just feeling so much pain, and this just kept going on and on until eventually I realized that every muscle in my body was completely tensed up. And it wasn't tensed up because of the pain in my lower back. It was tensed up because of what I was saying to myself, how I was speaking to myself, the fears that I kept saying. And when I realized that I was creating my own suffering. And I was creating my own suffering because, it started from the moment I woke up. The moment I woke up, when I experienced that sensation in my lower back, I immediately labeled that as pain. Now, the thing about sensation in our body, it's just sensation until we put a label on it. And that's what creates our experience. And the thing about me putting the label of pain on that sensation in my lower back is I'm not just placing that label on that sensation. I'm also placing all of the associations that I have with that label. So all of my past experiences of pain, or everything I know about pain, all of my fears associated with pain. And then as I have all these associations with this label, then comes the way that I speak to myself. So all the fearful thoughts that are associated with pain then come into my head, which then creates my experience and makes the experience way worse than it needs to be. And so as I'm driving and I'm realizing this, I'm realizing that sensation, it's just a sensation, and the experience is created from the label that I place on it. Then firstly I realized that what you resist persists. So if I'm trying to get away from the sensation and get, to a different position and resist it, then yes, the sensation is going to get more and more intense and basically scream for my attention. Because if you imagine like a little child, for example, who's desperately trying to get your attention, they're just like, hey, 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 hey. And if you're trying to resist that child's, plead for attention, and you're just, looking everywhere else, then what's that child going to do? They're just going to get louder. They're going to persist. They're going to be like, hey, hey, hey. They're going to get louder, and maybe the behavior is going to get more destructive. And that's no different to the sensations we experience in our body, because sensation or pain is the body's language. It's how the body communicates to us and tries to get our attention and draw our attention to certain things. So if you're trying to resist sensation in your body, maybe you're popping, painkillers, or you're mindlessly scrolling Facebook, or you're, eating to numb that sensation, it doesn't make that sensation or that pain go away. You might get temporary relief, but actually what happens is that sensation gets louder and louder. It persists because it's desperately trying to get your attention. And so if you don't want that sensation to continue to persist and try to get your attention, then give the sensation what it is asking for. And what it's asking for is your attention. It's your awareness. So listen up, because I'm going to show you how you can actually shift any sensation in your body and turn it into pleasure. So in this moment when I was driving my car and I was having all these thoughts and these realizations, and I realized that up until then I was labeling that sensation as pain, which was creating my experience. I decided to place my awareness on that sensation without any label, no label. Just placing my awareness and just witnessing the sensation. And as I was witnessing the sensation, something amazing happened, because when I looked at it as just a sensation, what I was noticing was it just felt like warmth. Like in my lower back, it was just warmth. And there was this light like pulsating. And it was actually quite like, it was so like relaxing. It was relaxing and like pleasurable. And I continued to drive and with that, that warm pulsating sensation in my lower back. And when I got to my destination, I got out of the car and my back felt amazing. Like I had amazing mobility. I felt so good. And I realized it's because I allowed the body to do exactly what it needed to do. It's when we resist the sensation that makes it worse. It's when we avoid, when we, pop pills or we, try to numb out in different ways, that these sensations, they persist and they get worse and they escalate. And it doesn't need to be that way. I just simply placed my awareness on that sensation. There was blood flowing, because where attention goes, energy flows. So I placed my awareness onto that sensation without labeling it. So the energy was flowing into that area. The body is miraculous. It was healing itself. I got out of the car after the hour drive, which you would think if you've got a sore back, you don't drive for an hour, but that's what I did. And I placed my awareness on that area. Blood flow was going through my body. I got out of the car and my back felt amazing. And it's such an incredible thing that you can apply to anything in your life. It can be physical pain and even emotional pain, because, if you're experiencing like sadness, for example, which it starts off as a sensation in the body. So it might be that you're experiencing like a heaviness in your heart, and unconsciously, you're experiencing the heaviness in your heart, and unconsciously your mind it's constantly interpreting your environment and your experience. So unconsciously your mind interprets that heaviness in your heart and labels it as sadness, which, as I mentioned before, that comes with a whole association, with your past memories of sadness, what sadness means to you, your fears associated with sadness. It comes with all that stuff, and then it creates your experience. When what's being asked for you is to place your awareness on that, the heaviness on your heart. Just place it. Just place the awareness without labeling it, without trying to change it or shift it. Just place your awareness where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows. And that sensation you're experiencing in your heart, if you place it with just, no judgment, the body is miraculous, and it will move and will metabolize that energy in its own divine time. And yeah, so that's the main thing I really want to share with you. Emotional pain, physical pain, notice that it's just a sensation in the body. Whatever label you place on it, it creates your experience. Just place your awareness on it with no label. Where attention goes, energy flows. That energy, the sensation will metabolize and it'll move through you, and you will be liberated from any self-created suffering. And yeah, that's all I'm going to share today. Hope that has been helpful. I'll see you next time.